I've spent the last 3 days playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, and after 10 hours of gameplay, I've 100%ed this game, and in my opinion, this isn't a full retail game. This is a DLC for Spider-Man PS4. Now let me clarify that it's a good-ass DLC, but nonetheless, it's a DLC that's selling for a full $50, nearly a full retail game. Let me give you an example. Spider-Man PS4 released for $10 more. It was $60 at launch, and it has way more content than this game. Meanwhile, I spent $50 on Miles Morales and beat everything in less than 10 hours. I feel shortchanged, but at the same time, that's not the only problem. This game has way more problem than just length. This is why Spider-Man Miles Morales is disappointing. Arguably the most important part of any game, the gameplay. And the gameplay here, it's good, even if it's a bit too easy. But this can be easily fixed just by upping the difficulty. It's basically the same as Spider-Man PS4. If you enjoy that gameplay, then you'll most likely enjoy the gameplay here. The two games are basically the same, with the main difference being the fighting with all Miles' unique abilities. You got his electric punch, which sends enemies flying off buildings.
Falcon Punch!
Game!
During stealth sections, you can turn invisible for a certain amount of time if someone spots you. Holy shit. All of Miles' unique abilities are used in pretty cool ways. They don't dramatically change the fighting in the game, but they do change it up enough to notice a difference between Peter and Miles. You feel a lot more powerful. The upgrades aren't as good though as in Spider-Man PS4. You got some cool ones with mines for stealth sections. You got some holograms from Peter's training sections, which are kind of funny. In between all of these fights, you're swinging around New York City once again, but this time it's Christmas time, so there's a bunch of snow everywhere. Even with the snow, though, the city is basically a copy and paste of the first game. There's a handful of new areas added, but not much. I don't think, other than the snow, I don't think there's anything crazy new. But overall, the map is still good and entertaining. Even if there are some invisible walls in some mission areas.
Stop right there, criminal
A
scum!
fucking invisible wall? Oh, come on. Yeah, it's literally just pitch black. You can't go into the darkness.
But it definitely helps that you're swinging around with some beautiful graphics. I was one of the lucky ones who was able to get the PS5, and the graphics on the PS5 are just beautiful. Hell, they even put enough detail to put flying planes around in the sky. Sure, it might be a bit too many planes.
Why the fuck are there two planes flying right past each other? Alright. That's actually kind of cool. I don't think there was planes in the first one. I don't think I've ever seen two planes fly like that. What the fuck? There's a third plane! What is going on? I've never seen... What is happening? There's fucking planes everywhere! Holy shit!
Here we are again.
1, 2...
A major disaster in our city.
3... Oh, that one's flying right...
Weapons
What?
discharged amid rush hour traffic.
But all jokes aside, the attention to detail is oppressive, especially with small things like food on a plane, especially during cutscenes. With a lot of games and nice graphics, there's inevitably going to be some bugs. And honestly, I was surprised because this game has a decent amount of glitches. And a lot of them are just the enemies getting stuck in places and being kind of dumb, like goons not being able to figure out how to get around a car door.
Help me!
Got a clear shot!
Come on.
Help me!
Alright,
Chill, chill!
Oh wait, can he move now? Come on. You got it. There's no way.
And another ones where multiple goons get stuck in the same spot.
What the fuck is... Buddy?
Dude, stop. Let me go.
Is he through the... He's fucking inside the wall.
Dude, stop. Let me go.
Beat this guy. Can I... Oh, for fuck's sake.
Dude! Let me go!
Now you're out! Fuck this.
A few moments later.
They fucking... He went through the wall again! How the fuck? I saw him leap into... Oh!
And another one when I throw metal right in front of it, right into a dude's face, and they don't flinch at all.
Yeah, I'm a bad bitch. You can't kill me.
And another thug getting trapped in a speeding car.
You friend!
One without goons though that I encountered in the game was Spidey falling through a fucking planet.
Let's see. Maybe it's a calm one.
Spider-Man the cat saved.
I don't know how it's not falling out. Oh.
I'm posting in the FNSM app about these guys and their boss. Maybe we can get leads on who we're dealing with. Call you.
Let me in. Let me in.
Nice.
Us. Kitty, you seen this shit?
Kitty. Shh. Almost there.
I
Almost
don't
there.
know if it's all good, Miles. That doesn't look all good to me.
Some that were irritating though, that weren't all just funny glitches. The game does have some crashes. I crashed twice, and that kind of irritated the hell out of me. But aside from glitches, let's talk about a bit of customization. And if you like the suits and upgrades and stuff like that from the first game, you're in luck because it all returns here. You got all these cool ass suits in the game. Personally, I feel like the first game has slightly nicer suits. This one game has some nice ones though. But all is forgiven when you find out that there's a suit that where you can have a backpack with a cat in it. It's the cutest thing in the world.
Spider Cat!
Good to see you. Been telling everyone how you saved Spider-Man.
Can I pet him? Oh, I can. Bro, this cat's so fucking cute.
Cat, you two look great.
Oh, I got a new suit. What? What?
There and stop some crimes, you two.
No fucking way! No fucking way. That's a suit? Oh, I'm wearing this suit all the time. I'm never taking this suit off. I'm never taking the suit off.
But another cool thing that returns from the first game is J. Jonah Jameson and his podcast. Although they kind of ruin it in this one because it's not only Jay. There's some girl named Danica or something like that. I honestly forgot her name. She's not as funny as Jonah. She's basically just a fangirl for Spider-Man. And it's nowhere near as entertaining as Jonah screaming about Spider-Man the whole time.
Hey, fuck.
To Just the Facts with me, your truth-slinging host with the most. Yes.
Does Pete said it suits the autoplay Jameson's show? Guy's a masochist.
Oh, that's why.
My Christmas charity spectacular was canceled due to masked vigilante mayhem.
Gotta be something better on.
No.
Hello, I'm Danica Hart, and this is the Dancecast, where I spotlight the people making a real difference in our city.
No, I don't want to listen to her.
But at one point, these two come together in one podcast and have an argument over Spidey, and it's pretty funny. But unfortunately, for some reason in this game, while listening to a podcast, if you do anything at all other than web swing, the podcast will immediately and irritatingly end.
Hello, friends. This is the Danicast with our debate.
That's your
Oh,
wave. We in the business
yes.
call that carrying the lead. Pipe it up. Let me ask you something, Danny. Do you ever think about what you're inciting? About your journalistic integrity?
More than some.
Because your campaign against Roxxon is baffling to an actual journalist like myself. You should be attacking the young, unproved vigilante who keeps causing problems in Harlem.
No! The shitty ass crime stopped it! Are you fucking serious? Why? Oh my, I'm so disappointed. How come if I get into a fight, I fucking can't? That's so stupid. I'm pretty sure in the first game you can still listen to them talk while in a fight.
Engaging Spider-Man!
But if you do end on accident, you could just go to the menu and listen to it that way. But it's still irritating when this happens. When I don't remember it happening in the first game at all. This might be a new glitch, or I don't know if it's a glitch. It might be a design choice, but I'm not sure why it happens. Overall, the podcasts are still a cool addition and entertaining, though. All this stuff is pretty good, but there are some problems with the gameplay, specifically with fighting and stealth. The fighting, though, it's not that bad. It's just that there's some wonky moments. Most of them are just bugs. But something that isn't a bug is how bad the stealth combat is. It has not been improved at all from Spider-Man PS4. This game relies on stealth a hell of a lot more than the first game, especially since Miles can turn invisible, and they didn't improve on stealth at all. I was hoping they would, but they didn't do it at all. It's still just boring, and it makes no sense when these guys are screaming as loud as possible, and nobody in the room notices.
She didn't see that.
Are you sure about that?
Majority of the time, you'll just sit on a pole and drag an enemy up to you, rinse and repeat. Occasionally run to people who are in a group. At that point, you just fucking shoot your weapon to a wall, and then one of them would turn around and you could just drag the other way. It's really not that deep or entertaining. When you comparing the stuff to something like the Arkham games, it's just completely different. The Arkham games do it so much better, and I wish Spider-Man would just copy them. Where in Batman, you're constantly planning, going in and out of vents, grappling up and down gargoyles, sneaking around, trying your damn hardest not to get spotted, because if you do, it's game over. The biggest difference between stealth and Batman and Spider-Man is the fact that in Batman, dudes with guns are a threat. They can mow you down in seconds. In Spider-Man, I don't care at all if I get spotted by a guy with a gun, because I know I can easily dodge them and just escape, or I could just beat the shit out of them either way, no matter what. There's no tension in stealth combat, which is my biggest problem with the combat in this game.
You walk fast, goodbye.
Good night. You're done.
Without a doubt, the best part about this game is the story and characters. The story from beginning to end is good. It starts off with a decent boss fight with Rhino and cementing the fact that Miles can hold his own and doesn't need Peter to hold his hand and be there for him all the time.
You hurt a lot of people today, Alexi.
Gives a shit. God damn. God damn. I'm fucking ragdolling him.
Peter isn't there. He leaves to go on vacation with MJ, leaving Miles alone with his buddy Ganke to protect the city, and his hands get filled up fast as the Tinkerer and her posse show up and just start fucking shit up for Miles in New York.
The closet was just a warm-up.
Or a distraction.
Whoa!
Let's not shoot each other, alright?
A few moments later.
Let's not shoot each other. Holy shit.
We're after the new form. Ignore everything else.
Holy shit. that's creative. The truck when it says water on it. Grab! Yeah, I'm fucking trying. R1!
What are you aiming at?
What is it?
What are you aiming at?
I'm fucking... Okay, there. Is it good? It's fucking still falling! There you go.
Get out! Everybody off!
Driver, get the fuck up! Alright, yeah, that's good. No, you don't. No, the fucking... There you go.
And honestly, the Tinkerer is a better villain than I was expecting. I was not happy when I saw the Tinkerer was the villain, but she's a lot better than I thought she was going to be. She has a lot of motivation. She's doing... It makes sense what she's trying to do and why she's doing it. Honestly, I understood what she was trying to do. It made sense to me. But I won't say exactly why, though, because it's a spoiler. You can just play to find out. But honestly, the Tinkerer and Spider-Man's relationship is the MVP of this game, no doubt. To the people who only know the Tinkerer as some old guy who builds stuff in the movies and comics, trust me, they are completely different in this game. And no, not because it's a girl instead of a guy, but because the Tinkerer has this connection with Miles. I won't spoil what it is, but it just makes it so much better. And the second villain in this game, who's kind of the true villain in this game, is this guy named Simon Krieger, I think is how you pronounce it.
Guys, wow, just wow. Simon Krieger, head of R&D at Roxxon Energy. Pleasure to meet you.
You too. Sorry. I think our ball landed in your yard.
No, actually did us a favor. We just bought the place. We're planning to tear it down for a build. But looks like you beat us to it. I wanted to thank you, both of you. Taking down Rhino? Solo? You are going places, bud.
Jealous.
Thanks.
He's jealous.
But he's still dangerous.
We'll hold him for the police. You know, I always think these super troopers are overkill until something like this happens. Oh, duty calls. Hey, really great to meet you both. Future's looking bright.
Sure, you never get to fight him. He's no physical threat to Spider-Man, but it's him who sets the events in the story and gives everybody, like the Tinker and Spidey, the motivation to do what they're doing. He's the mastermind of this game. He's sort of the Joker and Lex Luthor of the game. Honestly, Troy Baker, who voiced him, did a fantastic job at being an annoying, arrogant dickhead, which isn't surprising since it's Troy Baker.
Hey, where's the new form I asked for?
We're trying to make more. But Mason didn't leave behind any notes.
And?
Well, I had heard that one canister of new form survived the incident on the bridge. Now, if we had access to that,
Don't you think that if I had it, I would give it to you?
Yes, Mr. Krieger. I just want to make it clear that without that canister, it will be impossible to hit the deadline.
I'm doing everything in my considerable power to find that canister. However, right now, it would help me for you to go back to your lab and do your damn job.
Overall, I beat the main story with some side missions in around 4 hours, which I spent $50 and I beat the story in 4 hours. Wow, that's just very disappointing. I was shocked when I encountered the final mission and I beat it, and I've only been playing it. And I beat it in one sitting. I was so disappointed. But in the end, it felt rushed overall. The story was good if it had been given more time. Like in Spider-Man PS4, you built up the story with Doc Ock becoming evil in over 15 hours, giving you this cool-ass final fight, because you know all the events that have been built up to it. But instead, in this game, you go from Peter leaving Miles in hour 1 to the final boss in hour 4. Well, overall, the story was good to me. I just wish they had given it more time. Now, the side missions in this game are a bit of a mixed bag in my opinion. Some are good fun, and others are boring or frustrating. Let's start with some of the good ones. The game has this cool idea where Miles and his buddy Gank can create an app for him so that people can send in requests for help, and the side missions on this app are probably the best side missions of the game. Like, you got one where you gotta find and rescue a cat named Spider-Man.
Let's get out of here, Spider-Man.
Oh, he's so fucking cute. They just stay in there?
You got another one. Just a lot of them are good, to be honest. A lot of them are kind of revolving around helping Feast because they're getting robbed and shit like that. They even bring back Howard from the first games and his stupid pigeons. I hated those side missions in the first game, but they kind of just make it a meme in this one. It's kind of funny.
How the fuck do you use your pigeons this time?
I'm the other Spider-Man.
Pleasure to meet you. Thanks for the help. I've got 3 birds missing.
Of course.
Worried about them in this cold.
I can track them.
For fuck's sake.
Oh, hey, you've scanned one of Howard's pigeons. Howard Protocol now active.
Howard Protocol?
Every other side mission outside of this app, though, they're shit. Let's be real, they're very bad. They're basically copy and paste of Spider-Man PS4. Actually, they're literally that. I'm not just gonna say basically, they are copy and paste of Spider-Man PS4. Like, there's the time capsules, and they're literally the backpacks from the first game, just renamed and have a different little symbol on the map.
Are these all the side missions? Let me see. What's this one? Time capsule. So that time capsule is basically the backpack. Well, they basically got the same side missions from the first game. I didn't like the side missions from the first game. That would have been nice if they got some more. And
they just have the boring collectibles no one cared about. And some of the places where these time capsules are placed, it's Miles puts these when he was younger, and some of the places where he puts them make no sense how he was able to place these there without his Spidey abilities. How the hell did Miles ever get that in here when he didn't have fucking spider abilities? What? And there's some villain hideouts for the first game where you go in, beat the thugs up, and leave. You got the challenges around the map, which are basically from the first game. Some of them were annoying, some are kind of fun. For example, you got one where you're trying to hit an enemy with an object 50 times, which is fucking ridiculously dumb. That one was frustrating to me. A fun challenge that I liked was trying to beat a wave of enemy without getting hit once. That was a little frustrating, but it was fun. Another fun one was the rings from Superman 64. That's mean. I actually enjoyed that one, and trying to beat it in under 30 seconds. It was kind of frustrating, but honestly, it was pretty fun.
Mission accomplished. Good work.
Overall, though, the side missions, they're decent. They're not as big of an improvement as I was hoping. I was hoping for a much bigger improvement, but hopefully they'll fix it in the third games, but I don't think they are, to be honest. The Insomniac seems to try to focus a lot more on the main story over side missions, but I wish they would just combine the two. Maybe in the third game, we'll see. But overall, Spider-Man Miles Morales, it's more of the same from Spider-Man PS4. Honestly, I consider it an expensive expansion pack on Spider-Man PS4. It's got a good story, decent side missions, some cool changes to combat, but really that's about it. Everything else about the game is just a copy and paste from the first one, which it just really disappointed me. I was wishing for some better side missions, especially. The biggest problem to me is the length. I could live with the bad boss fights, bad side missions, all that. If the story had been given time and the development of the first game, I could have lived with that. If it was the same length as the first game, then I would have been satisfied. But for 10 hours to 100% and 4 hours for the main story, I feel shortchanged as hell at $50. This is just not worth it. I know the game was rushed. I know that it needed to come out by the PS5's launch, and that was probably Sony's fault, not Insomniac's. They even warned them before launch, and I commend that they told us in advance that the game was going to be short. But when they said short, I was expecting like an 8-hour long story with like 15 hours to 100%. I would have been more forgiving at that, especially since it's reduced from $60 to $50. But the fact that it's 4 hours long with 10 hours to 100%, that's just not worth it at all, in my opinion. And if you really enjoyed the first one, like a mega fan, you bought it on launch, got all the DLCs, played it multiple times, then sure, I guess I could recommend this at $50. But for everybody else who just wants another Spider-Man game, then I would say wait for a price drop. It's because this game is its price is probably gonna drop. I'd say wait for $30 or $20. That's a lot better. That's a much better price for this game. I'm way more forgiving on that. Overall, the final verdict for me, it's a 7 out of 10 to me.